Hey, what's up everybody? It is Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome to our first look of Ride 4, another new release here from the crew of Milestone in Italy, the fourth installment of their Ride series. You may have already seen that we've done some videos in the past on the other Ride games, but this is Ride 4. It's mainly a street bike focused game, but there are dirt bikes in it, which I'll start on, and then I'll move into some of the street bike stuff, and I think I'm actually going to do some more career mode stuff in this. But let's go ahead and kind of break down a couple of the nuanced, newer details about this game in case you are wanting to know more or less what the updates are to the game. So first of all, they have new and enhanced contents. They have, I think it's 34 new tracks. They have a fresh career structure, so you actually have to go through like these different regional careers and stuff like that to end up in this world championship eventually. They also introduced the day and night cycles, so weather is now cyclic. You can start in the sunshine and end in the rain. You can start in the day and end in the night, and that's actually really cool because they've also added endurance racing to the game as well. Which I'll get into at some point a little bit later on. Let's pick a track here real quick that we're going to do on the Supermoto. Is there a way to pick? No, that, let's see. There are Supermoto tracks. Just trying to remember. Dang it, keep pressing the wrong button. Just trying to remember which ones they are. Yeah, Brands Hap, maybe they don't have short course or a long course. Huh, maybe they don't have Supermoto specific tracks. I really thought they did. We'll just do this track though, so we can ride a little bit on the dirt bike. Expanded customization is another thing that they've also added a lot of detail into this game. One thing that has been added to the game that wasn't here before is the ability to basically create your own designs on the bike and on the helmets. That was something that we saw with MotoGP 2020 that they were doing, and now it's on to Ride 4 as well, so that's really cool to see that they're expanding into other titles that they have. Alright, so poor visibility at night. So we're just going to do a little bit of riding here on this bike, and then I'll get into some of the street bike stuff. But again, more to the other details about the game and some other things that they've worked on enhancing. A little bit late on brakes there. It's alright, I'll just crash. Invalid lap. Very interesting crash sequence there. Online has been enhanced in this game as well, similar to what we've seen in the Monster Energy Supercross series, the MXGP series, more dedicated servers available. So they've been enhancing your gameplay online. As I mentioned, they have a whole gamut of different bikes and tracks and other things that you can play in this game. It's not just some of the standard stuff that we've seen over the years, including this track that I'm doing here. And like I said, one of the big features that I'm actually really interested in playing, and I think at some point I'll probably do like a video where I just maybe even live stream the whole thing. They have these endurance races now, so you can race endurance events, and they can last up to 24 hours even, but I think some of them are 3-6 hour length. Probably just do like a 3-hour one. I'm not really too keen on doing like a so long one that it's going to take 24 hours to complete, but I think there are some that I'll try to end up doing, and I think those will be fun. Like I said though, this game is very street bike centered. Ooh, that was a big crash right there. So although there are dirt bikes in this game, and I think a lot of the majority of the people that watch my content are fans of dirt bikes, it is very, very, very street bike heavy, and I'm already bored of riding the dirt bike on this track, so we'll end this session and move on and talk about some of the other features that they've added. I haven't talked about the release date just yet, but the release date is October 8th, so getting a little bit of an early play here for you guys to be able to watch, but October 8th is when the release date for the game will be. On the current gen consoles, they will actually be having a future gen consoles released in January 21st of 2021 on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. So a couple other things there. Let's go to the dealership and purchase a bike. Got a couple different options that we can choose from here. This looks like it's more of like a classic series because we're racing 80s and 90s bikes here. We'll go with the Suzuki. And let's see. Too expensive. All these are too expensive. Are any of these going to be cheap enough for me to buy? Might all be too expensive now that I look at them. Didn't realize that these bikes would be so expensive. All right, we are not going to do this one. Instead, let's do this one. First steps in the competition, RM 600cc Sport, Yamaha. All right, so we're just going to start this championship and dive on into it. So that's cool that it's going to be available on next-gen consoles. That's one thing that we haven't seen with some of the more recent titles. I know that MXGP 2020 is going to be available on PS5, but now this one is also going to be available on Xbox Series X and PS5. So if you're getting a future-gen console at some point, that's kind of cool that you'll be able to play these. So yeah, 250 plus licensed bike models, 34 tracks and roads around the world. Official manufacturers, there are 22 different official manufacturers. And let me, this might be a little bit too loud, so let me turn it down real quick if I can. Options, that's video, audio. Already turned the master volume down a lot, but let's even go lower so that it's not drowning out me speaking here. Let's go from, I think this is Mosport. I didn't exactly get a good glance at where we're racing here. Trying to hold it on around the outside. Street, ooh, that was instant fallout from running into the back of that guy. My apologies to that guy. So street bike racing is one of those things that I enjoy it, but it's really not my cup of tea. It's really, it's just such like a very specific type of sport that you're either really into it or kind of not into it at all. And I like it. Like I said, I watch MotoGP. I watch, when I get a chance to, I watch World Superbike and stuff like that. But I'm much more into moto stuff, so it's, you know, that's kind of more my rotation. I watch more MXGP, the American Motocross and Supercross series, and more or less I'm more into like F1 and stuff like that. But I do think that a lot of people who watch my content will enjoy street bike racing because maybe you have a motorcycle license and own a street bike yourself if you race dirt bikes competitively. But maybe also you just watch my content because you're a two-wheeled enthusiast and you'd be interested in seeing more of this type of street bike stuff. So that's why I plan on doing a little bit more of these. I'm trying to get better at these games as well. I'm not the best at all with being able to square up corners and get on the brakes, things like that. Not one of my stronger suits, which I think is why I ended up going into motocross racing, because there's a lot less precision involved with braking points and stuff like that, whereas this one it's like you miss your braking spot by backing it into the corner, and dang, I just absolutely took that guy out. But if you miss your braking point by even just a little bit in this game, I'm sick of hitting these guys. Can I go back there actually? Do I not have rewind? No, I do. Okay. Just don't want to crash all the time. Continue on here. Cut up around the inside of them. Got Edward Marcy and Matthew Lane ahead of us. No idea if these guys are real people or not. I think they're generated people. Which reminds me, another one of the cool features that they've talked about with this game that I haven't even really like experienced that much of is they say they have this new system for machine learning AI. So I'm not sure exactly how it works, but the gist of it, it sounds like it's the AI, it picks up on little nuanced details throughout the track and stuff like that, and as riders around you continue to do more things on the track, they understand lines better, they understand you know, where you're going to be and other things like that. So it's not just as simple as the AI is going to follow one standard line and you have to kind of react to them. It does seem as though they're a little bit more loose, they're a little bit more doing their own thing. Again, with the crashing, I don't want to crash all the time, so I honestly, I don't know how much different that feels though so far compared to the other games, because while I have played the other ride games, I still feel like at times the AI can be a little bit, I guess kind of in the way would be the right word. There's plenty of times that, and I've already displayed it here just playing this game, there's plenty of times that you just kind of run into them and you're not trying to do it on purpose, but it just feels like you sneak up on them quicker than you expect, and then suddenly wham, you're hitting them, and that part of it's a little bit weird and kind of hard to calculate for, I guess. So I feel like the crew at Milestone does a pretty good job with making AI that's interactive in that sense. And now with this new system, it seems like they've taken that next step so that the AI is even more receptive to things that you're doing, like running into the side of them and causing crashes, which I continue to keep doing. I apologize to that guy. I didn't mean to take him down. But to be fair, if we're watching the replay here, I'm on the outside of him, and he just kind of drifts across the inside of my nose and goes down. But I digress. We'll just go back to before he crashed and see if I can just avoid him completely. Maybe sneak up the inside here. Get the pass done on him. Continue after Yolanda Ventura Carvalho. I think I said that right, but I have no idea. Let's get a drive down this backstretch. Seems like my bike is significantly overpowered compared to their bikes, which is interesting because I think we're all on a stock spec or something. Maybe it's just the AI difficulty isn't turned up all the way. Let's charge into this corner a little bit deeper. Try to clip this second apex. Like that a little better. All right, that was a lot cleaner through those little S turns right there. It's one of the tougher things about some of these games for me is that it's well out of my comfort zone of things that I'm normally able to do in a video game. Like, I feel like I'm pretty comfortable at playing motocross games and talking about them, or even car racing games to a degree. But this game, I feel like, because I'm not that comfortable with street bike racing, takes my focus away so much to talk about it and play it at the same time, so I end up riding just kind of like garbage. Right now I'm doing fairly okay. Riding the track pretty well. I like how it seems like in this game as well, there's a lot more effect that wear and tear on the machine provides. So like you can see in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, it says how hot, I guess, or percentage wise how worn down the front and rear tires are. So it gives you an indication on whether or not you're going to have that front end traction that you need on lean in and power on exit and stuff like that. Seems like the front's cooling down a little bit there. We pulled out a nice little bit of a gap here. Let's see if I can bring this thing home in one piece. Really fishtailing on corner entry. Oh, actually, that reminds me, another thing about these games, and MotoGP 2020 also has this, so this isn't exactly new, and I think other ride series also have it. You have quite a bit of ability to manipulate the way that your rider, I guess like a style aspect of the rider. You can determine whether or not you're a heavy leaner, a more balanced rider, an old school rider where you're a little bit more up and down. You can determine how many fingers you use on the front brake and the clutch, which reminds me that I'm going to change cameras and go into a bit of a first-person view here so we can see what this looks like a little bit. I like that reservoir has some fluid in it that you can see. That's kind of cool. Not very good at these games, so first person is even going to be worse for me, but trying to do my best here. Just get tucked in behind the windscreen here and just carries so much speed down this back straightaway. Going 152 miles per hour, but bike showing on the screen there in front of us it in kilometers per hour. Really charged into this corner really far. Missed the first apex, but I like that second apex a lot better. So twitchy under braking. Through the final corner, almost clipped the apex, and that would have been a disaster. But we made it, and we won the event. So I'm quite happy with that. Victory for me. Best lap of 120, the race time at a 6:55. And there are our fellow competitors. So this will give me an opportunity after this one to kind of explain the career mode leveling a little bit better. Oh, no, looks like we're going right into the next race. So we may just have to do these 3 races in a row and move on. But I'm actually in the Americas series right now. There's an Americas, Europe, and Asia series you have to go through to eventually qualify for the World Championship Series, I believe. So as part of the Americas, it's North and South America. We were just in Canada. Now we're in Brazil at Interlagos. And it looks like we're just going straight into this race. So here we go. See if I can't get an early lead and make things a little bit easier on myself. Ooh, almost backed the rear tire onto the grass there. Through the Senna S's here at Interlagos, and that guy absolutely needs some AI learning, because I was clearly up the inside turning in and he just turns across my back wheel. So maybe the AI learning still needs a little bit more fine-tuning. I'll let those guys go though so I don't go down this time. And almost getting into the back here of P3, which is David Galvez. Oh, contact down the straightaway. To the outside here of Mark McLeod. Get on the brakes here pretty heavy for this corner. It's a sharp left 90. Pretty good braking there. Then this one, I think you can stay on the gas. Oh, clip my head. Very fortunate not to fall off there. And this is a swooping right-hand corner. Double apex. I'll clip that first one and kind of clip the second one as you get to the top here. On the brakes on the curbing is not what you want. Inside and then a little right-left sequence. So back up the hill here. Hard on the brakes, don't lose it. You have a little bit of camber with these corners as well. They're kind of, not this one, well, this one a little bit, but the one before it definitely has more of like a bowl corner feel to it. And that's because you have the positive camber to you. Oh my goodness, that was happening forever. Let's kind of slow this down from behind. Got a little bit of a kick right there, and you can see the way that the body moves. This is kind of a good indication of the crashing in this game. So you get sideways, it knifes in, and then finally bucks me off. And big old high side landing on my back onto my butt and sliding up the hill as riders go by. But enough of that. Let's come back in here and continue on. So let's see if I can hold it wide open up this hill. It's a really interesting start straight / uphill because there's little kinks in it all the way down to the finish line. It looks like you can hold it wide open all the way through. No idea where my braking point is for this one, but we're just going to guess and hope. I'm going to say there. Pretty good. Pretty good, I must say. For someone who I would say is not very good at managing braking points on a street bike, that felt very, very nice on corner entry. A little bit on the curbing there, which you definitely don't want to do. The rear tire likes to really slide around on the curbing. Not hit her head this time. Oh, that curbing and onto the grass. Whew, nicely done. But if you do go off track and like gain a little bit of time because you go off track, you get little penalties here and there. You'll notice in the upper right hand corner of the screen, there's a P and then a plus .071 now. That is just going to be added to my total race time as a penalty. So you just got to be careful about that. Man, it's so hard on this bike. It's got so much traction and throttle input that the second you get on the gas a little bit, it likes to kick out. So you really have to be smooth on your throttles. Down the hill, very nice. Get on the brakes in between 150 meters. All right, up the hill we go again. It's a drag race all the way here at Interlagos in Sao Paulo. Oh, that rear end likes to step out a little bit too. So I totally got my braking point right last time, but I don't exactly remember where it was. I think it was here. A little bit too deep that time. It's all right. Managing well, have a nice comfortable lead, so don't need to overexert ourselves or anything. These 5-lap races feel like a long time too. Look back at nobody behind us because we got a nice comfortable lead. On the brakes here, a little bit before that 100-meter marker, so you can carry speed into the corner, let off the throttle and kind of let it flow through. Got a little kick up on the rear tire. I feel like more so than Ride 3, this game has some really nice kind of feedback that the bike gives you. More or less that you can see it better, I feel. In Ride 3, I felt like there's many times that you got on the gas just a little bit and the bike would step out and high side very quickly. In this one, I feel like you can much better see. I do have traction control on too, so I should be like a little bit more informative there. But this one, I feel like you can kind of much better see when the rear end's starting to kick out or when the front end's coming up and when you need to take a step back and not be hard on the throttle and letting the rear end slide out or something like that. Much better visually to see that. And again, for all of you people that are street bike lovers, or maybe you're a street bike racer and you're just clicking onto this video to see some kind of just gameplay footage of the game, I don't have a clue what it feels like to ride a street bike at speed, so I'm not going to swear to the feeling of what I'm experiencing on the screen or anything like that being 100% accurate, but it does feel pretty good to me from what I'm seeing. Too wide around the apex here, but see if we can hold the throttle on and stay lean. Very nicely done. And again, just before this 100, get on the brakes hard and let that leg kick out. Too deep though, just a little bit too late on braking there. That's what I mean though, it's just so hard to always measure where it is that you're gonna have to be braking for the corner at. And a lot about, with street bikes, I feel a lot of it is braking hard and then coasting through the corners so you have really good mid-corner speed and can get on the throttle very effectively. Another skill set that for me is just very difficult to learn because you're just always taught, you know, like on a dirt bike, I feel that you charge into a corner, you brake late, kind of flow through the corner a little bit in some sense, but for the most part, you're trying to figure out how to get on the throttle inside of a rut or something like that as fast as possible. Whereas this one, you really want that kind of flowing corner feel where you're apexing your corners well, you're using the braking and throttle effectively and not braking too hard or getting on the gas too hard. It's so much more of like a smooth, technical riding feel that to me is just very difficult to grasp. But I like how this game feels for someone of my, I guess, skill set. It doesn't feel too challenging to get a grip on, but it also doesn't feel so easy that, you know, like it's unrealistically easy, I guess. There's a good middle ground that they've hit here. And it's got me kind of keen to play this game a lot more. Like I dabble in other racing games like Formula 1, and I played a lot of like The Crew and other things like that, and Forza, that I don't always show off on the channel because I feel like for the most part people are here looking for kind of two-wheeled action, mostly motocross obviously, but that's why when these street bike games come out, I dabble in them a little bit more and try to show them off so you guys get an idea of what they look like and more or less something else to experience on the channel than just motocross all the time. But with those other games, like I play them, I get really into them, I try to get as much of the career mode stuff done as possible. I have a very similar sense with this one that I feel like I want to get a lot of the career mode accomplished and kind of move through the ranks, and eventually I'll do those endurance races as a stream or a video or something like that, because that's something that kind of piques my interest. It sounds like a good time to maybe hang out with you guys for an evening and chit-chat it up a little bit. But I'd like to get my skill sets improved in this game a little bit better before we get to that point, so that it's not just straight into endurance racing with me sucking terribly at the game. But pretty good here in Brazil at Interlagos. Got a nice, comfortable gap established and ran some pretty consistent lap times, I felt like, so that was overall a good race. So we got one more to do, and then I'll kind of dive through some of the customization features and other things that you can look at in the game, and maybe even go through a lot of the riders that, or the bikes, I should say, that you can select to play. But Weathertech Raceway at Laguna Seca, classic American road course that was on the MotoGP schedule for many years, and I think is one of the better road racing tracks in the USA. It's got the classic corkscrew, which I think everybody knows. Just a pretty short circuit, I guess, is where it falls short in most regards. It's not one of the longest circuits out there. Get off the line pretty clean here and see if I can't drag race these guys into turn one a little bit. Have to let off and kind of funnel in here. Swing to the outside of them. There's a spot, I think somebody's going up the inside. A couple guys trying to go up the inside. I gotta get it back. Contact there, no harm, no foul. Just right hand corner, almost contact there. Man, we were getting close. Let's slice through some of these guys. Try to make some passes happen so that we can Maybe move towards the front. Nice corner there into the gravel. That was close. Putting the rear tire off. Man, that guy just went really deep into the corner, and then we almost came together on exit. And here is the classic corkscrew here at the top of the hill. You want to get on the brakes before you go to this right kink so you can get stopped in time for the left kink and throw it over the hill. Really technical section of track that, unfortunately, if you get it wrong, there are some dire consequences. As again, I got a little too far on the inside of the corner there. Sharp hairpin here for the last corner, so you got to get hard on the brakes to get this apex, which again I missed. Cut the track again, and losing a lot of time in penalties. It's okay. I don't think I need to actually win this race to win the little championship thing we're doing here, right on the edge of the pavement. Too deep on corner entry again. It's all right. Trying to catch up to Noah Frazier. So yeah, shorter lap times though. Interlagos we were doing. Actually, I think we were doing a 136, so Interlagos is pretty similar, but still, it's, I think, maybe not as long as you really want it to be for a pro racing course, but it is what it is. Like, they kind of geographically locked to what they have here, so they can't do much else. Is nice move there. It's a little bit too late on the brakes, and then just got into his rear tire, their little fishtail up the hill. Square back up underneath of him, get a drive up the hill here. It's going to be into the outside and just out-dragged him. So I guess I have a little bit more oomph in this Yamaha that I'm on. Up to the top of the hill, get nice and slowed down for the corkscrew. Throw it over the top. That was a perfect line through there too. It's one of my better corkscrew corners that I've got so far. Tab on the inside there again. Nice corner. Again, get broke for this hairpin. Little too deep, but that's okay. We made it happen. So just need to finish over 0.492 seconds ahead. And we'll be all gravy. A little wayward on corner entry. That's perfect braking right there. Just kind of coast into the corner, let the apex hit. Get on the throttle on the exit. Very nice. A little hard on the throttle. Just clipping that curbing a little bit. Really, that's one of those things that should throw you down a little bit harder. Street bikes, as far as I've ever known, don't really like sliding on the curbing because it's basically paint. Sometimes the curbing has a little bit more traction, but for the most part, it's just painted curbs, so you get a little bit more slick spots on the curbing. For the corkscrew. Again, very nicely done there. That line, I love that line. I feel really comfortable where I'm entering the corner at. It's kind of setting me up pretty well for the rest of the corner. All right, we are cooking with some gas now, though I just blew the braking for this corner again. No, actually, that was about perfect. All right. Only 2 more laps to go as we hear the rear end kick out a little bit there through that left-hand sweeper. Down to turn 2, the Andretti hairpin. That's kind of cool. Bottom left, it shows you time of day, temperature, I think in Celsius, 24 degrees Fahrenheit would be freezing cold right now. And then it also, ooh, down I go. It also shows the corner of the track that I'm on. I just went through turn 3. But we were down at the Andretti hairpin. Able to get up ahead of these guys. Now we're in turn 4. And up to turn 5 here. I wish I could say I know the corner names a little bit better, but I don't. I guess this is just turn 5. Back up the hill. Turn 6. I like to call it the kink. And drag it all the way up the hill. And it should tell us that this is the corkscrew. Turn 7, I guess. And then turn 8, the corkscrew classic. Down through here. Into turn 9, the rainy curve, Wayne Rainey. And turn 10. And it looks like this hairpin is turn 11. It's not really a hairpin, to be fair. It's more of like a, I don't know, 120-ish degree corner, so not quite a 180. But it's got that feeling, late braking and hard left-hand turn that gives the feel of a hairpin, but obviously this is more of a hairpin. It's a double apex corner. Making good progress on this lap so far, though. Right, crashed last lap on the curbing just a little bit there. Corners here. Ooh, feel that rear end kick out a little bit. So we're doing pretty good. I like how I'm P1 on the track map in the bottom left, and then P2 and 3 are fairly close to me, and then there's a big gap, and then P4 looks like he's just holding up the rest of the field back there. So got a bit of a freight train going on behind us. All right. Down to the final couple corners, and we are done with this challenge. So got a whole career mode challenge done for the first look video. Oh, wow, actually I just fell in the last corner. That's going to cost me the win, I think. Trying to get on the throttle to try to get going just as these guys get here. But I think they're actually going to be so close to me now that it will still cost me the win. Bummer there to fall in the last turn, but it gave me P3, so I think that's still good enough to win the championship. So added those penalty seconds on at the end, and ended up 0.2 down. So really that last turn crash sucked. But got some new stuff unlocked. Got P1 in the championship. Tons of credits. So now ton there. New invitational groups unlocked, so that's good. So I can really quickly show off this structure here, the career mode, and then I'll go back and show off a couple things of customization as we finish this championship. So got these groups completed. There's a stock and an exhibition in each of the leagues, and looks like I've unlocked the Asian and European leagues. So now if I go to the Asian league, it'll probably show off some cool things here. New groups unlocked. You have gained access to the stock 1000 group cup. So here is the Asian league, which will have many tracks: Suzuka, Sugo, I think Yokohama, and of course there's different exhibitions and stock classes and stuff like that that you can do in this series. The European League, same thing. It actually shows you where the track locations are on the map, so that's kind of cool. And then again, you're trying to get to the World League, which it looks like I've unlocked, so that's cool. And then the final leagues are of the World Superbikes League and the World Endurance League. So eventually I'll get to the World Endurance League, and we'll do some more endurance racing videos. Quickly showing off some of the cool things that they have, though. So I can create my own bike livery, or people will probably make some, and you can make online content. But like, just real quickly as an example, like it starts off with specific colors that you can choose and select on the bike, and then you can put stickers on the bike in different materials of plastic. So let's just say on the right side we want to put. It's actually way down here at the end. I want to see what this stuff is. Oh, sponsors. It's kind of cool. So yeah, like let's see if we want to put Kawasaki on the side. Looks kind of ugly, but say you want to put it right there or something like that, you can. And then you can create a whole bike based on that. Like I can even put it, I can just be like, bam, bam, Kawasaki, bam, bam, bam. Looks ugly as all can be, but anyway, just kind of goes to show what you can do for customization. You can go on all different sides of the bikes, and the same thing happens for helmets. So, if I want to customize a different helmet, like a V3 Fox helmet, for example, I can even do that. Like that's pretty cool. We'll do spherical projection on the left side here, and again, I think sponsors are something that you can add on here at the end. You can add emojis, which is kind of funny. So you have a bunch of different sponsors that you can put if you want to, feel like real life fancy. So you have like Fox. We're making a Fox helmet here, but you can put Fox logos on it. Be like, oh yeah, that looks sweet. We'll put it right there, and then we'll add another layer, spherical projection on this side, and what else looks cool? Maybe some sort of animal. Put a gator. Stick with that color. Bam, putting a gator. So look at that. You can like make some cool custom designs on the helmets. You can change the color of the helmets too. So like if I wanted the base layer to be light blue, it could be light blue. I think stuff like that's really cool. I wish there was more options like that in some other games that they make, like hopefully in the future, like the Supercross games and motocross games that they make. That's another future option that you can have. So I like that. You can make stickers. You can customize the suits. If you go to Bike and Rider, there's a lot of different things you can do. So first of all, rider info, like I said, you can change all this stuff around, your nationality and stuff. But then riding styles. So I have chosen balance, but I could do shoulders out, old school, and then you could, I think I actually wanted, yeah, I had balance. Okay. Feet at the start, you could have just your right foot down. You could have both feet down. You could have just your left foot down. Leg braking while out, I always choose yes. And then you can choose as many brake fingers as you want, or I guess 1, 2, or 4. Can't do 3, but we'll do 2. And then riding gear, you have different suit combos that you can choose. So we have a racing suit, a road suit, a Harley Davidson suit, a Yamaha MT suit, but I think that this just comes standard like that. And then the Super Motard suit, which you already saw me wearing on the Kawasaki earlier. Let's take a look at some of the other bikes that you can get. Look at all the bikes. We got Aprilias. There's the bikes that load a little bit faster. Load. I don't know why the bikes are taking so long to load here. Maybe if I go to individual, there we go. Seem to load faster when you go individual. So you got a lot of different bike manufacturers here. We got Aprilia, Ducati, Honda, Bridgestone, BMW, Harley Davidson, Husqvarna, or Husqvarna is the proper way to say it, but everybody in America says Husqvarna, so whatever. Kawasaki, KTM, MV Agusta. We got Moto Paton. I don't know if I've ever heard of this before, but that's kind of cool. I like that. It's a nice looking bike. We got Suter, Suzuki, Tamburini, I think that's what that says. TM Racing, Virus, Triumph, and Yamaha. So just kind of cool how many different options that we have to mess around with. As always, you can kind of tune the bike. You can get engine upgrade kits. You can get different exhausts. Yeah, just a lot of different customization aspects, and the career mode is something I'm really looking forward to diving into. Multiplayer as well. There is no split screen, but online play available, and just a lot of cool things here in Ride 4 that I'm excited to dive into a little bit more, share more of. But this is our first look video here in Ride 4. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. As always, appreciate you guys stopping by and watching another video here on Start Your Systems, and hope to see you guys in all of our future videos on the channel. But it's Kellen here saying we'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.